Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are about to buy 25% of Manchester United, but what can they really do with that amount of control? What I'm going to do here is explain to you everything that we know so far about his plans, the details, the dates that are ahead, because this is a significant change for United, but will it be the change that we all want to see? With the Glazers losing control? Let's find out. Every single United fan wants more information as to what's going on with this Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos 25% takeover of Manchester United. So what I've done, I've collected everything that we know so far, all the details, all the dates, anything to do with plans. I'm going to summarize it all for you in this 10 minutes. Hopefully, this video should help you understand exactly where we stand ahead of this board meeting on Thursday, where the deal should be ratified. You can let me know in the comments below if there's any of this you think I've missed out. But of course, Jim Ratcliffe has always been one of the two bidders for the takeover of Manchester United. And on Saturday, just gone, that's where Sheikh Jassim pulled out. And everything then was set for Jim Ratcliffe to take over Manchester United. Well, 25% of Manchester United. Now, that's going to go ahead towards a board meeting on Thursday. But what are the guarantees that that gets pushed through? Who is on the board to vote for it? We'll run through this. There's 12 members of the board. Of course, Joel and Abraham Glazer, their four siblings, Kevin, Brian, Darcy and Edward. So there's 6 Glazers on the board. There's 3 employees of Manchester United, Richard Arnold, Cliff Beattie and Patrick Stewart. And there are 3 independent directors who are there to represent the New York Stock Exchange shareholders. That's the 12. If you go down here as well, the voting rules say this: there needs to be a majority. The article states that questions arising at any board of directors meeting shall be decided by a majority of votes. So as long as it's 7-5, it should go through. There's 6 Glazers, and is this what they want, or is there still going to be arguments among the Glazers? You can't guarantee that that's not going to happen, but it should go through. And if that goes through, what then happens next? Everything that we are seeing being suggested is that Jim Ratcliffe's offer of 25% of Manchester United at a massive premium comes with the clause that he wants operational control of the footballing side of Manchester United, taking that away from the Glazers, effectively turning the Glazers into, well, they wouldn't just be minority shareholders, they'd be in control of the business side of Manchester United. But from a football perspective, that would then go towards Jim Ratcliffe. Now, in my opinion, there's one thing that is needed pretty quickly after this if this meeting is indeed successful, goes ahead, Jim Ratcliffe gets that football control. What I want to see from Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos is an update on this statement. This was the original statement from Ineos when their bid first went in. And you can see on here, it speaks about how ambitious Ineos was, how they wanted to make United the #1 club in the world. Of course, this is all to do with a majority takeover rather than a minority. So what changes in this statement? That's one thing I want to happen very quickly. I think communication is going to be a very important part of Jim Ratcliffe getting fans on board. Certainly at the very beginning, but I'll be honest, the whole way through. And then the question I've got around the sporting control is the definition of when it's going to happen. This is the Athletic saying that if Ineos does, of course, acquire sporting control, they're going to do that big overview. Holistic overview is what they call it. Might be a 100-day plan. Sod knows how long it's going to take. But looking at every single position inside that sporting operation, is it what United need? Now, you've got the Times on one hand here saying that, look, Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos are actually aiming for control by the January transfer window, and saying that it could take another 8 weeks for a deal to be completed. And on the other hand, you've got the Telegraph saying that Ratcliffe's set to be granted immediate control of football operations. So what is it? Fabrizio Romano saying, look, in case of directors, I expect United to change very, very soon. So what is it? Is it immediate control? Or is it going to happen in 8 weeks when he gets elected to the board after he passes the Premier League owners and fitness test? We'll get more information about that. That's why I mean about the fact for a new bit of communication. We need that as fans. And in terms of the sporting operation and control, I think this is where we can learn a little bit of what we should be expecting. And we can do that by looking at Nice. Now, John Murtough and Richard Arnold, neither of them should have anything to do with the sporting operation at Manchester United. When it comes to Ratcliffe and Ineos, you know full well they've got a serious sports department. Their principal partner there, of Mercedes-AMG in Formula One. They own the Ineos Grenadiers, the previous Sky team in Ineos Britannia, working in sailing. In football, they own 2 clubs, Nice and Lausanne. Performance partner for the All Blacks. Ineos has a huge sporting department. Now, what I want to do, I found this quite interesting. I'm going to take a look at Nice, right? And the organizational structure at Nice, because this has been wrong for a long time. They made a lot of mistakes at Nice when they took over Ineos. But actually, now, in its current position, not just the fact that they're second in the league, but in terms of how that club is operating, it's significantly better. And you can see here, just by looking at this, and this is Nice, right? United is 20, 30 times the size of what Nice will ever be. And look how many people they've got involved in their footballing side of things. Jean-Pierre Rivière is the chairman. We've got a CEO working under it, Fabrice Bouquet, and sporting director Florent Ghisolfi. He's only just been brought in, but that's a chairman, a CEO, and a sporting director. First team, you've obviously got the coach Francesco Farioli, a director of performance working alongside him. You've got an academy director. Don't know what a pre-formation director is, but look at this. Administrative department, a deputy general manager, sponsorship, merchandise, and a digital director, administrative and financial director, digital director, communication and brand director, legal director, commercial director, merchandising director, director of IT development, safety and security director, and director of operations. You can see how many people are involved in a footballing structure here. Now, not all of that is necessarily to do with the football side of things. Commercial director, right? Communication and brand director. They might fall more towards the side of the business operation at Manchester United, but there are so many people involved here, and that's why I think it's interesting to look at the people getting linked with Manchester United, because of course I think one person who's going to be involved is Dave Brailsford. He's the team principal at Grenadiers, right? He was the team principal at Sky when they were massively successful, and he's survived quite some controversies, really, with the Team Sky doctors and everything that's gone in between, but he still holds quite a high position in Ineos. In fact, in 2021, he was appointed the director of sport. Now, they've since appointed Jean-Claude as the CEO, which I'll speak about. So, I think we can learn a fair bit from the actual structure at Nice and Ineos' existing sporting ventures as to what we can expect to come in at United. But Dave Brailsford, could he come in a chairman role? I don't think he'd go as high as that. Could he be a CEO? Technically he could, but I think there's probably better suited than that. Dave Brailsford doesn't have a flawless reputation, but in terms of how Nice has improved over these last 12 months, he has overseen a fair bit of that. Now, another name that's getting linked to United is Jean-Claude Blanc. He has got a lot of experience. Working previously, I think he was the chief executive at Juventus. He worked also in quite a high position in PSG, and as I said, he is the Ineos Sport CEO. So he actually overlooks all of their sporting teams, and I've just ran through what they are. Football, Formula One, cycling, sailing, rugby. Well, not obviously a rugby team, but involvement inside rugby. He's certainly one to watch, and he could come in, as I said, looking down there, in the CEO position, but then would he be able to do that job that he's doing at Ineos, or would he get replaced there? I don't know. And then, of course, you see someone like Paul Mitchell, who we all know that we need, and he's got a superb track record. His family's back in Manchester. The Moons feel like they kind of aligned around Paul Mitchell. Family, he's moved back to Manchester because he wants to be close to his family. He's left Monaco. Man United have now got Jim Ratcliffe in, soon to be. It feels like Paul Mitchell's definitely going to come in. And if you're looking at the role where he lines on this one here, you're probably looking right there as a sporting director. Him overseeing that at Manchester United. Quite a high position, but the CEO will be above him. So maybe you could technically get Jean-Claude Blanc coming in as a CEO with Paul Mitchell working as a sporting director, and then Erik ten Hag underneath him, and you start to build a genuine modern footballing structure. But you can see from that Nice chart, there's a lot. It probably won't just be 1 or 2 appointments. It could be a lot more than that. That's what I would say. And of course, on top of the whole footballing operation side of things, you're seeing reports and plans about expansions of Old Trafford, and that's a huge job unto itself. I don't know how you're going to extend and expand the capacity of Old Trafford to 90k. I have no idea you're going to do that. But we're hearing plans about that. Then you're hearing about the January transfer window, no spending spree. Of course, Erik ten Hag, Ratcliffe's going to have to build that relationship there. In terms of plans, look, you go back to this. We want to see Manchester United. We're ambitious. Manchester United become the #1 club in the world again, focusing on winning the Champions League. Erik ten Hag might finally have at least a voice inside that board. It won't be an owner that can completely follow that direction. It will be a part owner that can completely follow that direction. Of course, the fears that I've still got overall is that you're looking here at two owners of Manchester United who have opposing ideas. Be like pushing two magnets together. They're just going to jar at every opportunity. What problems will that lead to? I imagine it's definitely going to lead to some. That's why we all wanted the clean break. But I have to say that just the concept of the Glazers not being involved in any sort of sporting decision at Manchester United, that's a step in the right direction. Even if it's not the leap I wanted it to be, and it isn't, and I won't pretend that it is a step in the right direction. And if you don't want to admit that, that's cool. That's up to you. But that's kind of everything that we know so far, all right? I think, as I said, we can learn it. I think I might do a separate video on the actual organizational structure of Nice and also take a look at other clubs as well. What's going on at City? What have they got? What's going on at just other clubs, all right? Other clubs that I think are worth looking at in terms of their modern organizational structure and what lessons United can learn from there. That's everything we know. We should know more after Thursday, after the board meeting, which there shouldn't really be a problem in that going ahead with a majority vote. That's everything I know. You can let me know what you think about that in the comments below, as you always do. And make sure you subscribe to United People's TV if you're new, because I'm going to be covering this exhaustively over the next few months.